Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K Blu-ray edition of Mel Brooks's Spaceballs. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, Spaceballs is out on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by Kino Lorber. Now, as far as the film itself goes, this is easily one of my favorite Mel Brooks movies and in my top 5 comedies of all time. I love this film. It's got everything, you know. If you're a sci-fi or comedy fan, there's just so much here that this movie has, from quotable lines to just great characters. It's an overall fantastic spoof on that entire genre. I love this movie. It is so good, and it's just one of those that if you meet somebody who likes Spaceballs and you get into a quote off, you met somebody that you're going to be friends with for life, honestly. It's just one of those movies. I love it. And, you know, Bill Pullman as Lone Star and the late John Candy, great. Really, this is just a fantastic movie, and I'm happy this got a 4K treatment, honestly. I know there are other movies that feel like deserve a little bit more up front in that department, but for me, Spaceballs as a comedy, I love the fact that it's on 4K. Okay, we're going to talk about the picture quality and audio in just a moment, but first let's do a quick unboxing. Okay, we have Spaceballs on 4K Blu-ray. Nice slipcover. Looks good. I like the artwork. It's kind of like the original, so I like it. And then we have the back cover, and then the spine, front and back, and then just your basic Kino Lorber disc artwork. So nothing too special on the interior. All right, now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. Spaceballs on 4K Blu-ray has a 1:5 aspect ratio with native 4K resolution and HDR10 and Dolby Vision for the grading. For purposes of this review, I will be talking about the Dolby Vision encode. This movie, of course, was shot on film, so grain is going to be readily visible. I had no problems with it. It gave it a nice filmic look to it, and I didn't feel it was obtrusive or blotchy in any areas. I feel the print itself is very clean. There was only maybe 1 or 2 blemishes that I picked up from the naked eye, but overall it's a nice presentation and it looks great on 4K. As for the Dolby Vision, this is a bit more of a subtle kind of grading. There are little pops of color that come through from time to time. I will say when Lone Star and Barf are breaking the princess out of Spaceball City and they're battling the guards with their laser blasts, you get a nice little pop of color with the guns. And just a couple other moments throughout the film with the use of the Schwartz and even the lettering on the opening and closing crawl of the movie. They look good and give you a nice visual pop color-wise. Detail is also nicely enhanced here. I will say Barf in particular looks great, especially when he's up close. And Dark Helmet's suit, I never really noticed before, like all the creases and crinkles that were apparent in the costume, but they're there, and there are other moments where detail is rendered very well. Black levels and shadow detail look good as well. There aren't a whole lot of scenes that make great use of inky blacks, but the deepness of space really comes across very well, and the nighttime scenes where they meet Yogurt look fine. Spaceballs on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray supports a DTS 5.1 audio mix. Now, this isn't going to be a completely immersive track. It really isn't that type of movie. Despite it having sci-fi elements, a lot of the film is prioritized up front. The soundtrack is good. It's just not going to light anybody's home theater on fire. Dialogue through the center channel comes through clean and clear, and the front channels, they handle a lot of the action very well. The opening shots when Megamaid is going from right to left, it goes through your entire speakers up front and does a great job, and there are other moments throughout the film that make great use of those speakers. The rear speakers with ambience are very, very subtle. There aren't a whole lot of instances where I could like audibly point out, hey, that's happening in the rear speakers. A couple of the battle scenes, once again, going to Spaceball City. And there's a few moments that come through, but for the most part, it's really prioritized up front, and the rear speakers don't have a whole lot to do. The LFE channel is very subtle. Once again, the opening scenes with the ship, a slight bit of vibration there. And also, surprisingly enough, when Lone Star is fighting Dark Helmet and he punches him in the face, you get a little bit of a rumble in that area. But for the most part, it's just kind of underlying. It's not going to be a heavy presence. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Spaceballs on 4K Blu-ray an A-. The movie has never looked better on the format. I think it's a noticeable improvement over the existing Blu-ray, and while the Dolby Vision is subtle, it comes out when it needs to. It is a very nice upgrade. For the audio presentation, I'm going to give Spaceballs on 4K a B-. This is a very average DTS track. It's a comedy after all, so I'm not expecting a whole lot, but with some of those sci-fi elements, I would have liked a little bit more surround sound activity. But overall, it's still pleasant to listen to, but it's not something I would say is essential through your surround sound environment. If you're watching through your TV speakers, I don't think you're really going to be missing much. So that is my review of Spaceballs on 4K Blu-ray. If you're interested in picking this up for yourself, I will go ahead and leave an Amazon link in the comment section down below. But I also want to hear from you. If you picked up the 4K, what did you think of it? In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.